Amy Schumer has been all over social media. Okay, all over it. She has lost like more than half of her body weight, and all she is doing is she's telling us how, this whole body positivity movement, like it's all been completely like revealed as the big freaking lie it was, because every celebrity who struggled with their weight, who has now lost weight on some kind of GLP-1, is like loving life like never before, and they can't get enough of themselves. Like they've all turned into mega narcissists. I totally believe Michelle Obama is on a GLP-1. Okay. Amy Schumer has lost so much weight that so number one, she has scrubbed all old photos of herself from Instagram. If you go on her Instagram account, the most recent checking that I did, she's got 4 pictures. 4. Okay, so what does that tell us? She fucking hated herself when she was overweight. She hated herself. She hated the way she looked. She said it was society giving her shit for not conforming, and how not feminist was that, and how not girl power was that. Turns out Amy was full of shit all along. She just wanted to be skinny and pretty. Secondly, she's doing all of these photo shoots in her, I don't know where, but she's on some staircase, the broken doll pose where you're like, I'm just skin and bones, and like everything's like akimbo. I'm like, and like she's doing these in like fur lined jackets or coats on like this expensive looking staircase. And in one of them, like her little boy, who looks to be about 4, he's like upside down, like his head is like heading towards the floor on a staircase, and she's like ignoring the kid. She's like, but look at me. I weigh 90 pounds now. Look at me. It's really sick. It's really sick. And it's so effing hypocritical. Thirdly, the story is that Amy is looking to lose some more weight. That's known as her husband. His name is Chris. I believe it's Chris Fisher. Now, she has said, first of all, I know people who knew this guy when he was like a chef up on Martha's Vineyard. And the line on this guy is that he was always star effing, and he was a climber and a glommer. Okay. And Amy was the best he could get. I'm just going to say it. Amy was the best he could get. Now, she has long maintained that Chris is kind of a difficult person because he has autism. Apparently, he was diagnosed with it. My theory is that Chris is just an asshole. He's an asshole who talks down to her and says terrible things to her, and she made her peace with it because she didn't think she could do any better with Chris when she had all that weight on her. And now that she's lost the weight, I think Amy is feeling like her prospects on the singles market have gone way up, that her stock is on the rise, and she should get on Rhea and see if she can level up, because Chris is yesterday's news, and his autism may, in fact, just my opinion, be garden variety assholism. We're going to look at a clip from Amy's SNL monologue, joking about her husband's autism. Here we go.
It's been really positive for our family to have him diagnosed. I understand so much more about his behavior, and it's given him so many tools. Like, now if somebody's in the middle of a long, boring story, he will straight up just walk away. And when people find out that he has autism, like, they don't know much about it. They're like, oh, does he love to count?
Okay. She went on that whole tangent, but really, that's the story. So Marlaina, tell us your thoughts about this. You're in the comedy world in New York City and have been for a very long time. What are your thoughts?
I was. Well, she's obviously explaining away his bad behavior, and I find it interesting that she says he's autistic, because according to her, she just kind of took an online survey of him. Yeah, that's how it started. Now, did she follow through with like an actual doctor? Unclear.
She found a therapist. It's in like one of the documentaries. She made a bunch of projects around him, you know,
Right. But
and yeah, they talked to a therapist, but you can find a therapist who will agree with your assessment, you know.
if you yes, if you can pay the therapist will listen to you and massage whatever theory of yours that you have, especially if you're walking in with Amy Schumer, I'm sure. But but she did it. She was like, that's weird. That's weird. And then she did a whole stand-up routine how she went through all of these questions and he was like checking all the boxes. But I would argue that a lot of people check those boxes. I think the spectrum is so big that anybody can fit into some category of it now. It's to call him
I
autistic is
Yeah,
insane.
I think it's very dangerous. We're in a place in the culture where you can pathologize just about any asshole into having some sort of medical neurological condition and everybody should work around him. You know, I think it's the height of rudeness to walk out of a room when someone's telling a story that doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat. I think you're an asshole. I think you're an
Hmm.
asshole. She tells a story. I don't know if it's in that monologue or another one where she says to him like, "Hey, do you like this outfit? Do you like what I look?" And he's like, "You got better stuff."
I'll come in like, does this look like shit? And he's like, yeah, you have a lot of other clothes. Why don't you wear those? I'm like, that's a good point.
And she's like, "Autistic. Is it autistic or is it just being a dick?"
Right. And she also did a stand-up routine where she was in the hospital for hypertension or something. She was pregnant and they said like how long is she going to be here? It was the husband and her sister. And I think the doctor said something like 5 hours and his response was, "Oh good, because I saw a cool pottery place around the corner." And so then he left while
How
she
is
was at
that
the
autistic? How is that autistic? You really have to bend yourself into some real mental gymnastics to be like, my husband loves me so much. It's too bad that his autism directed him to go spend more of my money because this guy doesn't have a job as far as we know.
Yeah, did he stop cooking once they started dating? It's
I think
entirely
so. I think
possible.
so. And then he's probably, if they are getting a divorce, he's probably going to go after a lot of her money because she wrote projects about him. She did that show Life and Beth with Michael Cera that she
Hmm.
starred in it. It was like a fictionalized version of their romance. It lasted only 2 seasons. It was highly mediocre, but she's
Hmm.
used him as material. So he's probably, it's the autism that's focused on the money, Amy. Don't worry. Blame the autism.
Right, exactly. Um, but I find it interesting that Amy Schumer, I mean, look, whether you find her attractive or not, I personally don't, but she's still pretty famous. She's connected to a lot of famous people. I can't imagine there wasn't one other person other than this guy that would have gone out with her.
Well, he was kind of like a big fish in a small pond, right? So, like, he's a chef. He's like a quote unquote celebrity chef who cooks for celebrities up there and is like friendly with like I think he was friendly with Jake Gyllenhaal. They're Martha's Vineyard people.
Mm,
So if he kind of, it's like that episode of Seinfeld where George finds he buys a wallet and in the wallet is the photo of a model like in the laminate and
hmm.
he's out somewhere and someone says, "Oh, is that your girlfriend or your wife?" And he says, "Yes. Yes it is. She died." And he's suddenly given entree to like New York's hottest nightclubs and New York's hottest women because the beautiful dead wife is the passport, right? The legit like so I think that Chris's life in the vineyard was kind of his passport for legitimacy to someone like Amy, who again, famous, wealthy she may be, she's not really turning any A-listers' heads. She's not.
No, I mean, you're not wrong, but she has worked on these movies and with Judd Apatow. I mean, I'm sure she's
Right,
met one
but
or
like
two
think about
people.
the movies. Okay, think about what the number that these movies did on her head. Okay, and I always thought she was like it was sick, and it made me sad for her because I think she's smarter than this. Trainwreck,
Hmm.
which we were told was autobiographical about a single slutty, constantly drunk woman who doesn't think she's worthy of love. Okay, then there was I Feel Pretty, a movie in which her character takes a blow to the head and believes she's a supermodel. And the
Hmm.
gag is she's ugly. Okay. These are very dark things. And then she went along with being cast in the original version before Greta Gerwig got her hands on it of the Barbie movie. Remember that? She wound up going to Margot Robbie, like old school movie star, beautiful. And Amy was asking for it. It reminds me of Lena Dunham. Like, beat me up. I'm going to look as unattractive in the public square as possible. I'm going into show business. Beat me up. And then I'm going to yell at you for finding me unattractive.
Right. But I'm going to joke about it, so it looks like I'm cool with it.
There have been rumors for years that Amy Schumer is an unrepentant thief of other comics materials. And when she did one of her most recent Netflix specials, we were going to show a clip of it, but I just opted not to because it's too unfunny. Like, she begins one of her Netflix specials. She gets millions and millions and millions of dollars for this stuff, talking about, it's not even a routine. It's not even a bit. She's just talking about her and her loser husband getting food poisoning in Paris and all the ways it came out of them all night long. And it's beyond vulgar and gross and nothing anybody wants to hear. And it kind of made me think there's a lot of credence to those rumors, because why couldn't she write better material?
Right. Right. She's had a lot of misses in her material. And I actually have a friend who really is in the comedy scene, right? Like, so I did it for a while, like 9 years. I did stand up on the side. But I met actual comics that do it for a living. And this one guy who actually MCs at the Comedy Cellar, which is one of the biggest comedy clubs in New York, told me, like, flat out that she steals people's jokes all the time. But the crazy thing he said to me also, and I looked at him like he had 14 heads, was the only reason she gets away with it is because she's a blonde, pretty girl.
What?
And I was like, I think you're the only person who has described her that way. A blonde, pretty girl. And that's why she gets away with it. I say it's because I mean, look, she's connected to big people. Chuck Schumer's her uncle, right?
Her uncle is Chuck Schumer. She has very heavy hitters in her corner. Chris Rock directed one of her first Netflix specials. She's tight with Jerry Seinfeld. They go vacationing all the time. It was all over Instagram until she deleted her photos with Jerry because she was overweight. Are you kidding me?
I don't really understand the deleting of all of the photos. I know what you're saying is because she doesn't like the way she looked, but like, what does that prove? You've been on TV, you've done countless interviews. If anybody wants to do a side-by-side of you, they have plenty of footage. I don't understand why wiping your Instagram would somehow wash away old images of you, because it's not going to.
You're talking like a logical person. And a lot of these like celebrities are not logical people. You know, it brings me back to our recent conversation with Jillian Michaels about GLP-1s and like the havoc they actually wreak on like the body and the brain. And like, I truly wonder if like, she's kind of out of her mind at the moment. First of all, she's probably in a total pink cloud, right? She's reached the pinnacle of human experience, which is being skinny. Okay. In her mind, number one. Mm-hmm. So, but number two, what I find just psychologically fascinating about it and why I find her a very dark person is it just shows how much she clearly hated herself. If she could wave a magic wand, she would make everything you're talking about, all the video, all the movies, all the TV shows, all of her triumphs. Her Inside Amy Schumer was a huge hit for Comedy Central. For her, it made her a national star. She would eradicate all of those things if she could just memory hole for everyone on planet Earth, like in her own Black Mirror episode, that she was ever overweight.
Well, no one's ever going to forget that and the chances of her becoming larger again are probably pretty high. You know, unless she decides to stay on a GLP-1 for the rest of her life.
She'd have to be on it forever. And with a lot of these people, it's going to get very dark because, listen, she's still young. And I'm not saying this in any sort of, I just mean it in a like, let's approach it like we're a statistician, okay? The chances that you're going to develop some kind of catastrophic illness as you age, that you're going to develop some kind of a cancer, they're fairly good, okay? They're fairly good. Now, if your doctor says to you, hey, in order to save your life, first of all, you need an operation. So as Jillian told us, this came as news to me and to a lot of troublemakers. Your doctor takes you off Ozempic for like a month if you need surgery, because the chances you will aspirate while under anesthesia are way too effing high. Okay, so you need surgery, or you've got to go on chemo or radiation, and it cannot mix with a GLP-1. Your body won't tolerate. They don't like. So now you're going to be faced with the real story. Like, what if you have to go back to being overweight? Amy Schumer always struck me as somebody whose body, it's like Oprah. The natural set point of those people, their bodies want to be a little bit heavier. They just do.
Right. It's almost like probably partially genetic, right? I mean, some people are just built that way, and some people have really fast metabolisms. She's not one of them. I still don't understand why she would wipe everything away. And it makes me wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that these rumors are going around about her and her husband, and she's sort of like wiping away the memory of him. Is that just too far?
No, I agree with you. I think that's absolutely part of it. I think it's this radical, very public act though of negation. It's destructive. I'm destroying everything I was before. That's the father of her child.
And her kid is in a lot of those photos and videos. So why is she taking those off as well? I mean, look, if I were famous like Amy Schumer, you wouldn't see my kid anywhere on social media. Like I hesitate.
You're a smart person
to do it as a non-famous person. I hesitate to put stuff on there. I mean, it's very rare that I'll put stuff up. But
they don't have agency. Her son is 4, Yeah. And remember she gave him like, whatever. We don't even have to go into the naming of the child, but I just think, it's this kind of stuff. Like Amy Schumer doesn't understand why America has never fully embraced her. Like why she's got there's a cadre of people out there. And I think, we at The Nerve are among them who just have never fully warmed to her. And bullshit like this is why. It's absolutely why. The message she is sending, I believe, is that she was worthless when she wasn't the size of a toothpick.
Yeah. Well, that's the message she's definitely sending now. And also, I just think that her self-loathing or self-deprecating sort of humor is not attractive for
I agree with you.
Women. It's like, it was either something gross that she would talk about, something sexual she would talk about, or dating or whatever. And then it was all about herself. She would always talk about, like, oh, you don't want this. And the answer was obviously, that baby voice that she does. And it's all like, oh, and I just think that nobody wants to hear that, right? Like nobody, especially women, no one wants to hear that. Like I personally like observational humor and something that is a little bit more thought out and funny, right? But I feel the same way about Nikki Glaser. I feel like all she talks about is blowjobs, and like,
agreed.
Why is that funny?
Because they're birds of a feather. She and Amy Schumer are both girls who have always felt supremely unattractive and place all of their self-worth and validation. It's really, what's really frustrating about it? To be a stand-up comic, I think you have to be very smart, and you have to have a lot of guts, and you have to be original and have an original take on things. And you
George
should
Carlin.
Exactly. You should be prioritizing and in service of your intellect. Okay. But with these two, their major concern, their number one animating factor is, am I effable? Does every guy in this room want to F me? And when I saw Nikki Glaser come out and do that horrible monologue on SNL where she was joking that to be sex trafficked was the highest form of sexual validation, save rape. And she's wearing a cocktail napkin while you could practically see the results of her gynecological exam.
Right. No.
It's so desperate. And it's like, oh, okay, honey, I get it. This is it for you. This is the only thing that gives your life meaning, is knowing that, getting the sense that any guy in the room would want to, like, how sad is that? How sad.
It is, and it's also one of those things. And I get with someone like Nikki Glazer when she did that Tom Brady roast, right? And like that kind of put her on the map, right? It's like she has like if she couldn't get a guy, she had to validate herself by rolling with them, right? Like I can stand up here
I
with
can take it.
yeah, with a lineup of these guys, and I'm just gonna laugh and make these dirty jokes. So I'm kind of one of the guys, and I feel like Amy Schumer like toes the line a little bit when it comes to that, where she, I mean, it's a male dominated industry,
Yeah.
comedy.
And it's often a very misogynistic one as well. But the thing about Nikki Glazer, which is so smart, is, she gave this interview fairly recently. I think we played some of it on The Nerve, where she was talking about how empowering she finds it that her boyfriend goes and has sex with other women. And in fact, she encourages it. And she thinks this makes their relationship very healthy. And all I could think was like, this woman rather, she's in her 40s now, has so much self-loathing and so little self-esteem. It's almost non-existent. It's probably non-existent. I find it so dark.
Yeah, I mean, it makes her sound like a doormat. I mean,
She is a doormat. She is a doormat.
Mm-hmm. And she probably thinks that it sounds like she's evolved or like self-empowered.
She's cool, girl. She's cool, girl.
Again, I'm gonna roll with the guys. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm so secure that he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and I'm just like, I'm totally cool with it. And it's like, no, you don't think you deserve any better, and so you're just gonna roll with it because you think if you ditch him, when is the next one knocking on your door?
Exactly. She should maybe go text Amy Schumer and have a meeting because Amy definitely thinks she's leveling up. Her husband better lawyer up because I don't think she's messing around. And I can't, it's going to be really fun at the Nerve to watch this new iteration of Amy Schumer. As she cannot stay away from a camera lens now because she's feeling pretty. The key to losing weight and keeping it off isn't about cutting carbs, avoiding fat, or loading up on probiotic-rich foods. It's achieving a healthy weight, boosting energy, and living a vibrant life. And that comes down to flipping a switch in your body that helps to flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry calls this the caloric bypass. Now, by activating this mechanism, he has seen thousands of people, many over the age of 50, dramatically improve their health. Dr. Gundry himself lost 70 pounds using his research. He has kept the weight off for over 20 years. His digestive issues disappeared. His health has soared, and he now feels younger and healthier than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date. You can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/nerve. It's linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/nerve.